The unexpected charge. The laptop's luminescence painted Lily's face in hues of anxiety as she scrutinized her credit card statement. Rent. Check. Utilities. Accounted for. Groceries. Normal. Then, a disruptive entry clawed at her attention. A Globex Industries, followed by a sum of $478. 32. Her breath hitched. Globex Industries? The name hummed with a disquieting aura, akin to something plucked from a B-movie thriller. Certainly, she hadn't given the go-ahead for any such expense. Her fingers danced across the keys, a frantic search for the enigmatic company. What surfaced deepened her apprehension: a tech firm peddling surveillance technology. A cold wave of panic washed over her. Identity compromised? A sophisticated hack? She inhaled deeply, retracing her recent expenditures. Gas, a week prior. Before that, Chloe. A flush of warmth morphed into a frigid dread. Just last Tuesday, Chloe had been in a tight spot, scrambling for a specific adapter vital for a freelance assignment. Her wallet was nowhere to be found. Lily, ever the obliging roommate, offered her card. "Just promise you'll pay me back tonight," as she'd said, handing over the plastic with open trust. Chloe had repaid her, of course. $20 for the adapter from a camera corner at downtown. Lily recalled verifying the small charge online, then promptly filing it away. But Globex Industries? That smacked of something far more substantial than a meager adapter. A hard lump settled in Lily's stomach. Could Chloe have used it again? Without so much as a word? The possibility felt like a violation, a sharp jab to her core. Confrontation was anathema to her nature. She habitually let things slide, steering clear of thorny discussions. Yet, this was nearly $500. Perhaps, just maybe, it was an error. A simple typo. A miscued entry at checkout. She had to extend Chloe the benefit of the doubt, didn't she? But a persistent, subtle voice gnawed at her, reminding her of the countless times Chloe had borrowed her tire without permission, or decimated the last of the ice cream, vowing to replenish it and then failing to follow through. Lily shut the laptop, a sigh escaping her. This wasn't solely about the money. It was about the bedrock of trust. About the sanctity of boundaries. About asserting herself, even if it necessitated a difficult conversation with her roommate. She checked the clock. Chloe would be back from her shoot within hours. Lily faced a crossroads, a direct confrontation, or an attempt at a workaround. The prospect of facing Chloe head-on made her palms clammy. What if Chloe denied everything? What if it spiraled into a full-blown fight? But what if she didn't? What if this represented a pattern, a gradual erosion of trust that could ultimately lead to a more damaging breach? Lily rose, a newfound resolve hardening her expression. Tonight, she intended to uncover Globex Industries' role in this financial puzzle. And she would unravel it on her terms. A nervous denial. Lily folded the laundry, the crisp cotton a small comfort against the gnawing anxiety in her stomach. She needed to talk to Chloe, but the thought of confrontation made her palms sweat. Maybe if she approached it casually, like it was no big deal, Chloe wouldn't get defensive. Chloe breezed into the room, a swirl of perfume and vibrant energy. "Hey! I'm heading out to meet Liam. Want anything?" "Actually," Lily said, trying to keep her voice light, I was just looking at my credit card statement and saw a charge from Glamazon Beauty for a lot. Did you happen to use my card for anything other than our shared grocery run last week?" Chloe's smile faltered, just for a split second, but Lily caught it. Glamazon Beauty? No way. I definitely didn't. You know we only used it for the groceries, like we agreed. She rummaged through her overflowing jewelry box, her movements suddenly jerky. Maybe it's a mistake? You should call the bank. Lily perched on the edge of her bed. It's for almost $300. That's a pretty big mistake. She watched Chloe carefully. The air in the room felt thick, charged with unspoken accusations. Seriously, Lily, I wouldn't do that. Chloe's voice was a little too loud, a little too emphatic. She avoided eye contact, fiddling with a delicate silver necklace. You know I'm saving up for that photography course. Why would I blow my money on whatever Glamazon beauty sells? Lily pressed. Well, what did you buy? Did you get the new foundation we saw at the store? Chloe stopped fidgeting and her eyes flashed. I told you I didn't buy anything other than the groceries we agreed on. Lily stood up, crossing her arms. Chloe never got this defensive, not even when she'd borrowed Lily's favorite sweater without asking. Something was definitely off. Okay, Lily said slowly, I believe you. But I'm still going to call the bank. Just to be sure. Chloe grabbed her purse, slinging it over her shoulder with unnecessary force. Fine. Whatever. I'm going to be late. She hurried out the door, leaving Lily standing alone in the room, the scent of Chloe's perfume hanging heavy in the air. Lily stared at the closed door, her initial nervousness replaced by a cold certainty. Chloe was lying. She knew it in her gut. Secret surveillance. The steam from Lily's latte fogged her glasses as she relayed her suspicions to Mr. Abernathy. The coffee shop buzzed with the clatter of ceramic and hushed conversations, a stark contrast to the anxious knot in her stomach. I know it sounds crazy, but I just have this feeling. The charges, Chloe's evasiveness, it all adds up. Mr. Abernathy, ever the calm pragmatist, stirred sugar into his tea. Feelings are important, Lily, but they aren't facts. Have you considered that there might be a perfectly reasonable explanation? I have. Lily insisted, perhaps a little too vehemently. But she won't talk to me about it. She just gets defensive and shuts down. He took a slow sip, his gaze thoughtful. Confrontation without proof can damage a relationship beyond repair. Perhaps, or a less direct approach is warranted. Gather more information. Confirm your suspicions before you act. His words resonated with her. She knew he was right, but the thought of waiting, of potentially being taken advantage of, gnawed at her. That evening, after Chloe left for her evening art class, Lily found herself spiraling down a rabbit hole of online articles about hidden cameras. Lipstick cameras, clock cameras, even fake smoke detectors. The sheer variety was overwhelming and a little unsettling. She finally settled on a small, unassuming USB charger camera with decent reviews. Discreet and effective, the reviews promised. 2 days later, a small package arrived. Lily's hands trembled slightly as she unwrapped the device. This felt like a betrayal, a gross invasion of privacy. But she justified it as a necessary evil, a means to protect herself. With Chloe still at class, Lily crept into their room. The air hung heavy with the scent of Chloe's art supplies. Lily plugged the camera into an outlet near Chloe's desk, making sure it had a clear view of the area. It looked perfectly ordinary, indistinguishable from a regular phone charger. A wave of guilt washed over her as she stepped back to examine her handiwork. The room felt different now, tainted by deception. She quickly closed the door, the click of the latch echoing in the sudden silence. Now all she could do was wait. Caught on camera. Lily waited until she heard the slam of the front door, Chloe's signature exit. Then, with a sigh, she pulled up the security camera app on her phone. Her heart hammered against her ribs, a frantic drummer in her chest. She told herself it was just nerves, a natural reaction to snooping. But deep down, a cold dread had taken root. She scrolled through the day's recordings, fast-forwarding through the mundane. Herself making breakfast, Chloe practicing makeup in the mirror, the delivery guy dropping off a package. Then, there it was. Chloe, perched on the edge of Lily's bed, laptop glowing in the dim room. Lily zoomed in, her breath hitching in her throat. Chloe was on a website Lily recognized instantly, EOT Threads, and notorious for its exorbitant prices. Her fingers danced across the keyboard, filling in fields. Name. Address. Then, the credit card information. Lily watched, paralyzed, as Chloe typed in the numbers, her numbers, the numbers linked to Lily's checking account. Chloe hesitated for a moment, glancing nervously toward the door, before clicking a submit order. A triumphant smile bloomed on her face as the screen confirmed the purchase. A silk scarf, Lily saw, in a shade of emerald green that would perfectly complement Chloe's eyes. Probably why she chose it. The footage continued, showing Chloe gleefully browsing other items, adding a designer handbag and a pair of ridiculously expensive boots to her cart. Lily clenched her jaw, a bitter taste rising in her throat. Each click felt like a tiny stab wound, puncturing her trust, her generosity, her naive belief in Chloe's supposed friendship. Lily switched off the app, her phone slipping from her numb fingers onto the soft rug. The room felt suddenly cold, the air thick with betrayal. She'd offered Chloe a home, companionship, a lifeline when she was struggling. And this was how she repaid her? With deceit and theft? Tears welled in Lily's eyes, blurring the familiar surroundings. It wasn't just the money, though that stung. It was the violation, the sheer audacity of it all. Chloe hadn't even bothered to hide her tracks, assuming, perhaps, that Lily was too oblivious, too trusting to notice. A wave of nausea washed over Lily. She stumbled to the bathroom, splashing cold water on her face, trying to regain control. She had proof. Undeniable proof. Now what? Confrontation felt impossible, a looming battle she wasn't ready to fight. But letting it go? That felt even worse. Lily looked at her reflection in the mirror, a stranger staring back at her. The easygoing, trusting girl she once was had vanished, replaced by someone hardened, wary, and deeply, profoundly hurt. The ultimatum plan. Chloe's side of the room was a chaotic landscape of cast-off garments and decaying takeout containers, an affront to Lily's meticulously curated space. Confrontation seemed insurmountable. Each mental image of Chloe's face ignited a fresh wave of anguish, constricting her throat. Opening her mouth, she feared, would unleash only accusations and stifled sobs, anything but a calm, rational exchange. Instead, a different current surged through her, a mischievous and slightly madcap energy fueled by frustration. An ultimatum. Not a sincere one, naturally. Something preposterous. Something to subtly dawn on Chloe that her actions carried weight. She seized her laptop, the chill of the metal a small comfort against her quivering hands. Operation. Recompense plan. She tapped out at the top of a new document, a giggle escaping her despite the turmoil. Right. First infraction. The unauthorized credit card charges. Repercussion. Him. Lily gnawed on her pen, gaze fixed on the ceiling. Public humiliation seemed appropriate. For each illicit transaction, Chloe shall perform a Disney song, a cappella, in the refectory during the midday meal. The stark words materialized on the screen. crisp and official. A smile played on her lips. Next, for dereliction of dishwashing duties resulting in more than a day's worth of encrusted plates, Chloe would be sentenced to wear a sandwich board proclaiming, "I am a culinary catastrophe." The mental picture evoked a snort. She was on a roll. For pilfering clothes without permission, Chloe would be tasked with reorganizing Lily's wardrobe, sorting by hue and fiber. For decimating Lily's shampoo, Chloe owed her a full hair wash and invigorating scalp massage, complete with fragrant oils. The list lengthened. The penances became more elaborate and ludicrous. Chloe must address Lily as Her Supreme Majesty for a full week. Chloe was to compose a haiku on the critical nature of respecting personal boundaries. Chloe was bound to master the Macarena and disseminate it on TikTok. Lily's fingers flew across the keyboard, the sheer absurdity of it all simultaneously cathartic and comical. The ache hadn't fully dissipated, but it was muted, submerged under layers of the ridiculous. Perhaps this wasn't the most judicious course of action, but it was decidedly her style. She saved the file, a bizarre cocktail of resentment and amusement bubbling inside. Now for the best part, strategically leaving it where Chloe was certain to discover it. The chicken suit claws. Lily's fingers flew across the keyboard, the quickfire tapping a percussive contrast to the tempest raging within. A cocktail of emotions, betrayal, fury, a bizarre, bubbling sense of the ridiculous, threatened to overwhelm her. The Miller account presentation lay forgotten. Her focus was solely on the escalatingly absurd document taking shape on the screen, a project ultimatum. She hesitated, poised above the keys. Stipulation 7. The guilty party will, upon demand, perform a song selected by the injured party, skill be damned. Performance must occur in a public venue chosen by the injured party. A wicked grin tugged at Lily's lips. The image of Meyer belting out a Mariah Carey ballad at the dive, at her beloved watering hole, filled her with glee. But it demanded escalation. Some next-level crazy. Her fingers resumed their dance. Stipulation 12. In instances of repeated infractions, the perpetrator will be subjected to wearing a full-body chicken costume for a minimum of 4 hours in a public locale designated by the injured party. This locale must contain no fewer than 10 individuals. She pictured Meyer, feathers ruffled, attempting to order a skinny latte. The mental image almost sent her into a coughing fit. Scrolling through the developing manifesto, Lily peppered it with increasingly preposterous demands. Toothbrush-assisted toilet cleaning? Naturally. Feather duster acrobatics on ceiling fans? But of course. Each decree amplified the previous one, morphing the exercise from genuine grievance into a surreal, theatrical spectacle. The sheer absurdity began to erode her anger. A flicker of guilt surfaced. Almost. Then she recalled the jolt of seeing the credit card statement, the icy fist of panic clenching her gut, and the amusement solidified into steely determination. She added a final clause, a petty, yet satisfying, jab. Stipulation 17. The guilty party will henceforth address the injured party as Grand Poober for a period of 1 week, and will attend to all requests, however insignificant, with unwavering deference and a deep curtsy. Lily leaned back, appraising her creation. It was terrible. It was juvenile. It was immaculate. A strange brew of resentment and feverish anticipation simmered within. She saved the file as Operation Retribution, printed it, and folded it carefully. The crisp paper held a surprising weight of power in her palm. Discovery and laughter. Lily smoothed out the printed document one last time, ensuring it was perfectly centered on Chloe's usually chaotic desk. The fluorescent lights of their shared workspace glinted off the bold, underlined title, Ultimatum. Satisfied, she retreated to her side of the room, pretending to be engrossed in a spreadsheet, though her heart hammered against her ribs with a nervous energy. The door swung open with Chloe's characteristic flourish, a burst of perfume and vibrant energy filling the room. "Lily, darling. You will not believe." Chloe's voice trailed off as her eyes landed on the pristine white paper sitting squarely on her desk. Her brow furrowed. "What's this?" Chloe picked up the document, her bright pink nails momentarily obscuring the words. Lily watched, trying to decipher Chloe's expression. Confusion clouded her features as she scanned the page. Then, a slow smile spread across her face, crinkling the corners of her eyes. The smile erupted into a full-blown laugh, a cascade of sound that bounced off the sterile walls of the office. Tears streamed down Chloe's face as she clutched the ultimatum to her chest. "Oh my God," as she gasped between fits of laughter, "you're serious? You actually wrote me an ultimatum?" Lily remained silent, a small smile playing on her lips. Chloe composed herself, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. Okay, read it to me. Please." Lily cleared her throat. Ultimatum, regarding unauthorized credit card usage. Chloe snorted. Option A, immediate and full repayment of all unauthorized charges, plus a sincere apology and a detailed explanation of your actions. Or Option B, I report the incident to the authorities and our university, effectively ending your scholarship and potentially leading to legal consequences. The laughter died in Chloe's throat. The mirth vanished from her eyes, replaced by a flicker of something akin to panic. But it was fleeting, quickly followed by a sheepish grin. "You knew," as she said softly, more a statement than a question. Lily nodded. Chloe slumped into her chair, the document fluttering to the floor. A wave of guilt washed over her, quickly followed by a strange sense of relief. It was out in the open. The secret, with all its heavy weight, was finally exposed. "Okay," Chloe said, her voice barely a whisper. "Okay, I deserve that. A sincere apology." The stale, buttery ghost of microwave popcorn lingered, a flimsy shield against the palpable tension suffocating the cramped dorm room. Lily, perched precariously on her mattress edge, fussed with her desk supplies, aligning highlighters with obsessive precision, anything to avoid facing Chloe. Her roommate, meanwhile, was a whirlwind of restless energy, pacing a worn path into the rug's fibers. Abruptly, Chloe halted, the sudden hush amplifying the low thrum of the fridge. "Lily, there's something I need to tell you." Her voice, usually a bright melody, was muted, almost hesitant. Lily kept her gaze fixed on the pen organizer. "Does this something perhaps involve the mysterious glamorous gowns charge that appeared on my statement, amounting to a cool $20? Chloe visibly winced. "It's or bigger than that. It's about everything. I used your card, Lily." Repeatedly. The confession burst forth, a dam finally breached after years of holding back. Lily's hands froze. Lifting her eyes, she registered a flare of hurt, quickly hidden in their depths. "What? How could you possibly do that?" Chloe crumpled to the floor, her typically vibrant outfit now seeming faded, drained of life. "I'm so deeply sorry." "Sorry feels utterly inadequate, I know, but I truly am." She swiped at her eyes, smearing mascara in dark streaks across her cheeks. It began so insignificantly. A new shade of lipstick, a dress for Sarah's party. And then it just snowballed. It was about looking the part, about belonging. I was so foolish. A surge of nausea rolled over Lily, a physical manifestation of the betrayal, robbing her of breath. Belonging? With my money footing the bill? A sharp edge sliced through her words. No. It wasn't about you, truly. It was about me. A desperate attempt to plug some gaping hole inside. Designer clothes don't fill it, believe me. I've learned that the hard way. I was wrong, so incredibly wrong. Chloe's voice frayed, raw with emotion. I know this likely signals the death knell for our friendship, and perhaps I deserve that, but I swear, I will repay every cent. I'll find a job, even two if necessary. I'll sell my clothes, every single item. The desperation in Chloe's tone resonated in the small space. Lily observed her, a knot of uncertainty twisting in her stomach. Was this genuine remorse, or simply another act? It's not solely about the money, Chloe. It's about the broken trust. How can I ever place my faith in you again? Chloe looked up, her eyes now rimmed with red, but holding a stark sincerity Lily couldn't recall seeing before. I realize it will require time, and if you can't, I understand. But I intend to earn your trust back, Lily. I give you my word, I will. It starts tomorrow, with a job hunt, and every paycheck will go directly to you until the debt is cleared. Please, please just believe that I genuinely regret this. E. Friendship restored. Chloe's gaze was glued to the peeling lacquer on her thumbnail, a deliberate avoidance of Lily. Unspoken words hung between them, a palpable weight pressing down in their cramped apartment. It wasn't a genuine ultimatum, Lily admitted finally, her voice a mere breath. Chloe's head shot up. What? Lily twisted her fingers together. I panicked, all right. I didn't want screaming. I didn't want to blow up. I just needed you to grasp the gravity of this. The sparkle was gone from her normally bright eyes, replaced by a film of worry. I knew just stating the sum you owed would bounce right off. It always does. Relief bloomed, quickly soured by a sharp pang of guilt. Lily, in her own clumsy fashion, had been trying to shield their bond. So, I'm not being evicted? Of course not. Unless you actually want to leave? Lily's voice trembled slightly. No. Chloe burst out, maybe a touch too vehemently. I don't want to move. I want to fix this mess. A genuine smile finally broke through Lily's worried expression, easing the tension lines around her mouth. Okay. Then let's dive in. The following hours blurred in the blue light of a laptop screen. Lily, armed with her meticulous spreadsheets, guided Chloe through the financial thicket she'd wandered into. The reality was starker than Chloe had imagined. The dress, the shoes, the constant stream of delivered meals, it had snowballed into a shocking figure. All right, Lily stated, tapping a pen against the glowing screen. We need a budget. A proper one. She established categories: rent, utilities, sustenance, transport. Under leisure, she reluctantly scrolled in a number significantly smaller than Chloe's norm. Chloe groaned inwardly. This will be agony. It has to be, for a while at least, Lily replied softly. We also need to find avenues for you to bring in extra income. They tossed around ideas. Chloe, with her designer's eye, could freelance in graphic design. Lily suggested tutoring, recalling Chloe's stellar performance in high school mathematics. They even entertained the idea of selling some of Chloe's overflowing wardrobe online, a suggestion that initially met resistance before Chloe conceded, eyeing her crammed closet with a newfound practicality. As they worked, the oppressive atmosphere lightened, replaced by a sense of shared purpose. Chloe found herself confiding in Lily like never before, revealing vulnerabilities and the pressure she felt to maintain a facade. Lily listened attentively, offering supportive words and gentle nudges of encouragement. By night's end, they had a roadmap. Daunting, yes, but not insurmountable. More significantly, they had confronted the issue together, not as combatants, but as allies. Chloe looked at Lily, truly saw her, and recognized not a critical judge, but a devoted friend who cared deeply enough to fight for their relationship, even if it meant wielding a phony ultimatum. "Thank you, Lily," Chloe uttered, her voice thick with emotion. "For not giving up on me." Lily gave her hand a reassuring squeeze. "Never." The laptop's glow cast elongated shadows against the wall, yet within the confines of the small apartment, a fresh start was dawning, illuminating not merely their fiscal future, but also the resilience of their rekindled friendship.